Hey there, CJ Math students. Welcome to Math Test number 95. We're going to multiply and divide integers using the rules that we learned yesterday. So a reminder, when you have an even amount of negatives, such as 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, your answer is going to be positive when you're multiplying and dividing. And when you have an odd amount of negatives, when you're multiplying and dividing, whether it's 1 negative, 3 negatives, 5 negatives, etc., your answer is going to be negative. So you're going to solve a couple riddles today. Basically, you're going to have 3 problems, and then one of these 4 answers is not going to be there, and that's going to go in the box below. So number 1, for instance, negative 4 times 5, that's 1 negative, right? So that is negative 20. That means K is used. 6 times negative 8, that's 1 negative, so that's negative 48, so that's out. And then negative 9 times negative 2, those are 2 negatives, so my answer is positive R. Notice how they put negative 18 there too to try and trick you. So E is not used, so down on 1, you put E. Let's do a problem like number 7. 4 times 50, well, those are both just positive, that's 200. So that's not used. Negative 25 times 8. There's 1 negative, so my answer is negative 200. So that's not used. And then negative 90 times 0. There's no such thing as negative 0, so that's just 0. That's not used. So then negative 100 is not used, so that means on number 7, you put R. Let's do one more. Notice these ones have like 3 numbers together, so let's do a problem like 12. And negative 8 times 2 times 10. There's only 1 negative, so my answer is going to be negative. So that's 16 times 10, or negative 16 times 10. That's negative 160. So P is not going to be used. 4 times negative 5 times negative 5. That's going to be a positive number because there are 2 negatives, right? So this is initially negative 20, because that's what 4 times negative 5 is, times negative 5. But then negative 20 times negative 5, that's positive 100. So A is not going to be used. And then negative 6, negative 8, negative, we have 3 negatives. So my answer is definitely going to be negative. Negative 6 times negative 8 is a positive 48. And then times a negative 2 gives me, you don't even have to do that math. There's only one possible option here, negative 96. So L is not used. So C is going to go on number 12. So again, whatever letters left over, that's what's going to go at the bottom, and that will solve your riddle for why is your nose in the middle of your face. Okay? Then you're going to flip over to the back side, and you're going to do something similar, but with division, right? So negative 15 divided by 3, that is only 1 negative, so that's negative 5. So you find negative 5 on the bottom here, and you write E. And then something like negative 40 divided by negative 4. Those are 2 negatives, right? So my answer is positive 10. So you find 10 on the bottom and you write S. Negative 100 divided by negative 25. Those are, again, 2 negatives. So that's positive 4. So you find positive 4, not negative 4, positive 4. You put the letter O. Now, some of these look like they're crazy fractions, and you're like, oh, I have to find common denominators and all that stuff. No, you just have to divide first, and then you have to use your rule of addition. So negative 42 divided by 7, that is a negative 6, because there's only 1 negative, plus negative 21 divided by negative 3. There are 2 negatives there, right? So that's positive 7. Now you have to use your rules of addition. Negative 6 plus 7, that's a DSSM problem. That is positive 1, right? You got to switch back and forth between the rules for multiplication, division, and your rules for addition. So on 1, you'll put T. Let's try another one of those. Let's do 36 divided by 9. That's a positive 4 plus 40 divided by negative 5. That is a negative 8. Again, DSSM. Now you got to switch your brain again. You're not saying, oh, I only have 1 negative, so my answer is negative. You're actually subtracting 8 minus 4, and I had more negatives, so it's negative 4. So that should be C. That's going to be tricky, but we will work some of those together. Okay? Go ahead and keep going.